my computer started to update. I'm like, no. So I'm going to record as well and see what that does.
We don't have a secretary yet.
Recording in progress.
Jim's going to record, be the
Oh.
secretary today.
Oh, good. Good.
Jim is our superhero in more ways than one.
Mhm.
So we'll just call to order at 5:01, Jim, and we'll read our statement. As we gather today, we acknowledge that Eureka, California is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot people. We also honor all Indigenous people and territories and sovereign governments that share governance within Humboldt County, California. We gather with respect and gratitude to these Indigenous people. We thank and honor the Indigenous caretakers of this land who continue to cherish and protect it. Their elders have instructed the young to consider the 7 generations ahead as they continue to protect the rights of the land and all people who live on it. We encourage all to align and follow the lead of local Indigenous communities as they steward the land and protect all of its natural resources. And now we'll just take a moment of silence. Surprising how long a minute can feel, isn't it? A lot can get done in a minute. All right, roll call, Jim.
Okay, Aronoff? Here. I see he's here. Glover's here. Haney has an excused absence. Larson?
I believe
Not
Larson
here.
had an excused absence.
She what?
I believe we got an email from Carol. I'll double check. Keep call and roll, I check.
Okay, I don't know about that. Lochte is here, I can see that. Lyons is here. Miller,
Carol Larson has an excused absence, and Larry Miller has an excused absence.
Morgan,
I don't see him here. No
Okay.
emails.
and Dotso Perkins. Yes. Okay.
I don't know, she's doing today. Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes? I saw that Bird put a few things in there, but at this time we'll approve the February 3rd minutes. Next is agenda adjustments. I'd like to add to the agenda discussion of going back to meeting in person with the change in mask policy and see how we all feel about that. I'll add that to new business towards the end, if that's okay with everyone.
Excuse me, it's okay, but that's not an adjustment to the agenda. That's a new item.
Right, I'd like to add it. Wouldn't I add that if I want to adjust the agenda, can't I request that it be added to new business? Since the change in mask policy has come about since the agenda was posted. So can I not do that? Is that not what agenda adjustment is? I want to know.
No, an adjustment to the agenda is to move something in a different order that
Okay,
was already
got it.
on the agenda.
Okay, then never mind. Thanks for that clarification, Jim. That's why you and Bert are my heroes. All right, we have a guest speaker with Interim Chief Todd Jarvis. If he shows up, I have written to his secretary twice and called and left a message. I haven't received anything back, so it could be that he shows up. I don't know. So we'll move to public comment. Any public comment today? I don't think we have any public. It's going to be a quick one, isn't it? Commission communications then. Any emails, regular mail, or any other announcements and communications anybody has that they haven't shared with us already? All right. Bird, how about some message line reporting? How's it, what happened there?
Well, since I did report at the last meeting, the beginning of what I had, then I had someone who called and wanted to know how to get on the meeting. And I didn't get the message until after our meeting was over, but I did call and leave him a message about how to find it in the future. I had a call for someone who wanted some legal advice, civil and human rights violations he considered, being kicked out of the camps and so forth. And I called and left a message, gave him some of the resources that he could call. I didn't hear back from him, and I was not able to get him. Then I had another call from someone who wanted to know whether his message to the grand jury had been received. He wanted to have confirmation of that. I again left a message and I suggested that he call the Superior Court administrator if he was having trouble, because they're the ones in charge of the grand jury. And I will have to say, I tried to put all these on the message line report form, and I still was not able to do it because I guess I made a mistake. The first one that I did back in February, and every time I pull up the form, it still has that one on it and it won't let me get rid of it. So I have this information Jim was going to see about getting that fixed for me. So when you let me know, Jim, I'll put them on.
If I can, I'll comment. I did bring this up to Eddie. I was hoping to meet with him prior to this meeting, but I had other meetings to get to. He did send me an email saying that this is your problem, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But as soon as well, I don't know who he meant. He was addressing it to me, so I assumed he meant me. So as soon as I have had a chance to look at his email and go through it, I'll share what I learned with you.
Thank you. Well, that's all I have.
And Guy?
I had the easy time. I had absolutely no calls for 2 weeks. And
Wow.
Oh, you lucky dog, you.
Yeah. And I notified Carol on my last day, that I was handing it off. And I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. I know on our site, there's a message line, that has the dates, timestamp, and whatever. I've added stuff to that for every day that, I checked up and put that on. But other than that, like I said, it was very, very quiet 2 weeks, almost as quiet as this meeting is today.
All right. Well, on that note, May 1st through 15th, I'll volunteer for that section because I haven't done it in a little bit. And it looks like Carol's up, and then Sundberg, and then Perkins, and then Haney. Would anybody like to volunteer for the 16th through the 31st of May? Or should I leave that for us to look at?
I'm sorry, I will.
Dotson, you're already doing the April 1st through 15th.
Yeah, but that's a month away.
Why don't I leave that one blank and let's see next meeting if more folks show up? Does that sound good? Because Burgess did it, then the guy's doing it, then Carol, then Lisa, then you, then David, then me. Actually, Jim, I guess you could be up.
Well, then none of us will have to do it for a while.
Yeah. Do you want to take 16th or 31st, Jim, or you want me to hold out and have, why don't we wait till next meeting? We're far enough in advance. We can wait till next meeting if you want. What do you think, Jim?
Whatever you'd like.
Let's just not put anybody in and just see who gets
Okay.
for the next meeting. Treasurer's report, Kai.
Again, a fairly simple one. Our bank balance as of February 28th was $1,296.95. And then the only other thing I can comment on is I do have an email into the McLean Foundation as far as our hopefully getting another grant. They did give me access to it. I just don't know how to submit a grant. There's nothing there for it. So I'm either missing something or I'm supposed to be on a different site, but I'm on the site right now that shows, to evaluate a grant, but there isn't one there because I haven't submitted one. So hopefully I'll get that clarified fairly quickly, and then I'll get that underway because I've got all your suggestions, and I'm looking to apply for a little over $3,000 grant. See what happens.
Great.
Very good.
You're awesome. Correctional Facilities Liaison Report. My email from Larry says, as of this morning, March 1st, there's nothing to report on the jail. I have a phone call to Sarah to find out how the surveys are going at the jail. So that would be the crux of that report. Nothing to report, and check-in call to see how the surveys are going at the jail.
That's what Larry said. He's going to check with the jail.
Yeah, he said that he had emailed on March 1st. He said there was nothing to report on the jail, and he had a phone call into Sarah to find out how the surveys were going. He is traveling with his wife for a doctor's appointment. All right, that made that quick. The sanctuary ordinance, Mr. Haney isn't here. I don't know if there's been any movement on that. Guy, do you have any news on that? Did you guys meet?
Just checking my mail on that to see. We haven't met. I know he's been busy and out of the way. I know I sent him some information. I know at Cal Poly Humboldt, they have a workshop that they're actually having this Friday, tomorrow afternoon, that I'm going to attend. That's going to highlight immigrant rights and knowing their rights for searches, arrests, and deportation warrants. So I'm going to take a look at that. But other than that, as a group, we haven't met. So hopefully that will change soon.
All right. Thanks. Human Trafficking Fund, Mr. Glover.
Yes, we did meet.
I saw that.
We had 3 of our 4 members of the committee present. And I think, had a very productive meeting. It had been a year since our committee had met.
Wowza.
And yeah, that's wowza bad. But I've learned some things that would relate to, if not this agenda, then the next agenda, because it has to do with finances. On the one hand, at the Humboldt Area Foundation, we have $5,427.39 available in the existing grant from the Board of Supervisors. We also, at our recent meeting, had as a guest, of course, Tina Sims, and she's been our key collaborator, if you will, on all things having to do with human trafficking. And what we suggested to her was that she come up with a wish list, and I know she doesn't expect to get it all, but it would be part of whatever we ask the Board of Supervisors for. So it gives us a beginning before we even go to the Board of Supervisors. Included are funds to supply occasional housing situations for victims of trafficking. I won't give you the numbers because they'll fluctuate as time goes on. It includes coverage over a period of time for the telephone hotline, which Tina is paying out of her own pocket at $26 a month. Some of these other housing situations have also been out of pocket because they'd have to go to a hotel or a motel for if there was no space available. Other areas that she talked about was phone communication, a stipend for a person to assist with the hotline so that Tina doesn't have to be here 100% of the time. And tied to that, the other thing has to do with, this was a kind of a large number, but I think she and Eddie may have come up with this, and we have to get the application to find out just what's involved, but it's website consultant for updates and rebranding. And that was almost $5,000. But those numbers don't mean much until you actually get the application. And then none of that means much until we approach the Board of Supervisors with a request for funds. I expect that we will meet at least 3 more times this year. I'd like to meet quarterly at least. And I'm recording those meetings as well as printing the minutes for everybody to review. And that's all I've got.
Jim, quick question. If we have that money, why isn't the phone hotline being paid for out of that fund?
Because we haven't earmarked it.
Well, how do we go? I guess, does that mean?
That's why that item needs to be on an agenda.
Okay.
And we need a formal application from Tina or Epi or whoever it is that wants to get the money.
Got it. This looks like great progress. Are we able to find out what the grant was? One of my questions I know that we were trying to figure out is what was the grant money, the original grant money? This is what we have left, but what's it all been spent on? Do we have any kind of formal or informal ledger about that?
I
Do we
do
know what's
not.
been spent on?
I wasn't on that committee until recently.
Me neither.
I
yeah.
don't have the records. I know it was a combination of bus advertising was one of the main things. But we also subsidized other groups, and well, Bird might know, Girl Scouts and some other activities like that.
Yeah, well, the reason there's money left in the fund is because the Girl Scout wasn't able to complete hers and she returned the money.
Oh,
So that's why there is money there, because she allocated everything. However, I don't think there is a formal record of all of this, but I do have in my head and in my notes what we have done. So I can probably put that together if that is what you're asking me to do.
Well, wouldn't Humboldt Area Foundation know who they wrote the checks out to for the money? I would assume.
Oh, yes,
So
they have. Yes, they will.
So we could just request something from them as a guidepost so that we can see, so that, because if we're going to go ask the Board of Supervisors for another grant, we want to be able to say, this is all the stuff we did right before.
That's what we talked about at the meeting, that we would have that if we went to the Board of Supervisors to ask to have another allocation, that we would have that.
Okay, great. That makes total sense. And I saw, Guy, your hand was up.
what?
I saw Guy's hand was up.
Oh,
No, okay. Well, that's great. That's some good progress. Thank you for your. Okay, the Racism Cultural Awareness Committee. I did get your message about that, Bert. So I did appoint you to that committee because I wasn't sure how that got lost in the notes. So, but to create a list of cultural resources for the community. Carol's not here, David's not here, Larry's not here. Bert, did you guys meet?
No,
Okay.
at least not that I know of.
Well, no, I would assume not. Okay, so I'd say that there's no report on that. The Homelessness Committee, to propose actions to improve housing options by providing adequate shelter for our residents. I have written to become Guy. I asked to, and when I wrote to the clerk of the board, she was out. And when I wrote to the the clerk of the board of supervisors, she was out. I'm not sure why and for what, vacation or whatever. And I did not hear back from her. She was due back this week. I didn't hear back from her to see if we could get that on the agenda for one of us to present it. Did you guys meet, Guy?
No. David's been gone, so.
Yeah, it's been kind of a vacation-y month for a lot of people. I was gone for a week too. Human Rights Survey. How are you guys doing on? Oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry, Jim. I didn't see your hand. I apologize. I was taking notes.
Before we move on from that,
Okay.
I think I would like to suggest that we be a little more aggressive about seeking answers from the Board of Supervisors on this. There are at least, for one thing, I know that Kathy Hayes, the clerk of the board, was in her office today. I saw her.
Maybe I have an email back from her today then. I could go look right now. Let me see.
Well, I wouldn't depend solely on email. That was my bottom line.
Okay.
The phone works, and somebody, if not her, will answer it, and then they can give you a more definitive answer.
Would you suggest that during public comment at one of the board meetings that we could be there for public comment? We have our 3 minutes to say, hey, we've submitted this to you guys and we never heard back.
Well, remember, they'll say nothing to your comments because it is public comment.
Right.
If you want them to respond and interact with you, it almost has to be on the agenda.
Yeah, exactly. I'll call Kathy in the morning. Thanks for that. You're right. Phone calls probably squeaky wheel does get the grease. Human Rights Survey. What's going on with that, you guys?
Well, we're making some progress. Our Humboldt, our Cal Poly representative is here, but I'll let her report to you where she's at. I owe Ellen an apology. I was supposed to let Bird know about an interview that Ellen partook in, and I forgot. I'm sorry. But Ellen, if you're there, why don't you share about the interview and where we stand on the survey?
Hi. Nice to see all of you. I think the survey is going pretty well. It's going on, I think, really good. I sent out another group of emails and
Did we lose you, Ellen? Think we lost you.
Well, I know that
We lost you for a little bit there, Ellen. You sent out emails. That's where we lost you.
oh, sorry about that. I'm on my phone. I was getting back from my internship, so I'm on my phone, so that might be what's going on. I'm sorry. I said that I had sent out some emails and that I had heard back from KMUD and they wanted to do a quick interview with me to add to their local news segment. And that went out yesterday. So hopefully we're getting some surveys back from that. And we should have, if not 300, but very close to 300 survey responses back. So I felt like that was pretty good. So we're moving forward in that. And I think that our closing period for the survey for March 15th is sounding pretty good, getting reasonable amount of surveys back.
especially if we get anything from the jail. There seemed to be some interest at the jail, but then all of a sudden we're not getting anything back from them. I'm not sure, but Larry will know about that when he gets back.
Yeah, I was anxious or hoping to hear back from them as well. hoping to get some good responses from them as well. That would be really great. I'd like to hear what some inmates have to say, for sure.
Thank you for all your diligence.
And if there's anything else, if I'm missing anything on or where anyone can think of some organizations, of course, I'm happy to hear or share anywhere else or populations that we might be not getting to. I'm quite happy to send things out.
What was the status, Ellen, of this Humboldt State, Cal Poly? You were going to you were awaiting some action from them?
Well, one thing that has been going on with them is I did reach out to their the people that you have to go through them to do if you want to do any research on or with Humboldt State students, and they sent me a list of 300 students, and so far I've sent that list of 300 students out 3 times. So one initial, and then one I think about the 15th, and then one on the 1st of this month, email blast to those 300 students. If that's what you're talking about, I'm not sure, Jim, is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that email to organizations and schools included this school in those 300 emails. The one that I'm still kind of hoping to hear back from is the JC. They did send out to all their students the survey, but that was way back in December. I sent another email a couple days ago to their person who does research with their students, but I haven't heard back from him yet. That's the one I might email back again, because I'd sure like to send it out to all the students again.
Yeah. Well, thank you for what you've been doing.
You're welcome. I've been having a great time, and hopefully getting some great responses. Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've extrapolated data from surveys before. The work is just going to get started once you get all the information. That's when your work's really going to start putting it all together.
Right.
And we all appreciate you more than we can say, quite honestly.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy working with the commission. So thank you. I appreciate this opportunity.
Well, you live here. If you decide you want to put an application to be on the commission, you would be very welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. I will definitely consider that as a possibility to kind of figure out what I want to do when I graduate, and that easily could be part of what I'd like to be part of. So thank you.
Wonderful. All right, any more discussion on that? Just good hard work. And I'd also like to thank Jim and Bird, our rocks on our commission, for putting in such hard work in creating the survey. New commission logo. Not so any luck.
Yeah, so Jim and I met again, and we came up with the purpose statement. Should I go ahead and read that now?
Yes.
Sure.
Our goal is to create a logo that represents the diversity of Humboldt County. And to that end, we are encouraging a competition of citizens to offer suggested designs.
Perfect.
And we spoke about doing, at the end of this, before we vote on it, we maybe have all the art displayed at Arts Alive. And I have a friend that has a shop in Old Town I'm going to talk to about that. And we came up with rules for the competition. And I don't read those all out right now, right? Okay, yeah. So we came up with rules, and I have graphics for it. So I have a flyer, and then I have a small poster, which is just an 8.5 by 11. And I have graphics for a Facebook event and a Facebook post. And Jim suggested that we talk to Eddie and see if Eddie can make a Facebook event on the Human Rights Commission Facebook page. And then we could all share that, and we could share it to local groups and different pages on Facebook.
I should be able to make it a Met page as well.
Okay, that'd be great, yeah.
When you were talking about a place to show it, what is the name of the visitor center right there?
What?
in town.
That,
Ellen, you want to mute?
Oh.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. It's in my pocket, it's in, I am so sorry.
We're having a conversation with you. So I don't know. I guess I can mute her. I just don't know how. Yeah, there we go. The big visitor center there in town that sometimes, I think because that's owned by the county, that might be a good spot too. You were mentioning a business in Old Town, but if we couldn't use that place. But good work. I'm glad you guys met. It seems like we're getting some progress. It looks like for the Inc. people, they are doing a retirement on March 11th, I believe, or March somewhere around there, to look up the date to thank Libby Maynard, who ran it for so long. And then I think the reins are really starting to pass over to the new person who's running it. So you may be able to get more response
Okay.
from the Inc. people's art.
Which Arts Alive did you anticipate us launching this at?
Launching or showing the work?
Well,
Like might be, the maybe in June.
the showing would be in June because we would be completing it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is there any introductory advertising before that?
Yeah, I think so. We would advertise. It seems to be, I mean, I'm sure there are other ways to do it. Jim and I emailed you back, but after days, things have been a little bit crazy here. And we were talking about maybe printing up some flyers, some small posters, and then,
Is there any
incorporate-
reluctance on the part of the people that are here for us to go ahead and order those posters mostly for Southern Humboldt, but other areas as well?
Are you putting a motion on the table to use some funds to, is that what you're trying to do right now?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, well, put a motion on the table.
I move I don't have a dollar figure to give you, but that we, or how many was it, 100 posters, Dotso?
I would say no more than 100, and definitely I would circulate them up through Eureka and Arcata and Fortuna as well. I mean, you guys have more people up there.
Are you talking about 8 by 10 posters or professional?
Yeah, just an 8.5 and 11, just a small poster, and then
$100? Would that be so?
Why don't we set a maximum of $100?
There you go.
yeah, that's more than enough, I think.
And we usually have that sort of thing done at the copy center. And as long as we have your okay, we could go ahead and do that.
So then you're going to do a motion for that? So we
I
can.
move that we allot $100 for posters to advertise the logo competition.
Second. Oh,
Word second.
yeah, Guy did too.
Guy seconds, that guy thirded. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote on it. All right, that's unanimous. So we have to see each other.
Okay.
And hit me up before, because I do work, might be able to get some of the copies done too. Also, is it you guys' suggestion or goal or idea to have the public vote on the best one, and we'll tally the votes of the public when you have the show?
I think we were considering having it be a vote of the commission.
Okay, I just want clarification on that. Perfect.
Hopefully more than 5 people.
Yeah, right. Okay, the Indigenous Peoples. Oh, before that, you have the committee ending on June 30th. Should the committee be extended then until maybe August 30th? Is that, or do you guys want to end it?
No, the competition is scheduled to be over by that time.
Got it.
I think it's a good time.
Perfect. I was just double checking. I love it.
So should I go ahead and send I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Should I go ahead and send the information to you for the Facebook event that we have?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay. Indigenous people, and I'll send you my phone number too, so you can contact, so you can gossip directly. Indigenous Peoples Committee. We've got Sundberg, Aronoff, Miller, and Larson. So was there a meeting? Guy.
We had a brief meeting about 10 days ago.
Okay.
The only thing I think I can bring to the committee here just is to mention that I know we want to invite some of the local tribes to one of our committee meetings. And I know I sent out some email addresses to Lisa. I haven't heard back from her, so I don't know how that's pending, but
I feel like she's in Washington, D.C., or I don't know where she's at, but I did see on Facebook that she was traveling somewhere.
Okay.
I just wish she would have called us so she'd have an excused absence.
okay. But that was
All right.
that was about the gist of it.
Well, on that note, we're going to go to electing the vice chair. And I'd say by acclamation, Jim, you have been nominated. And those in favor of Jim being our vice chair, say aye.
Thank you.
Jim, I talked to several people and I felt that having you as a vice chair, because you're such an integral part of our commission, and you also are constantly teaching me a thing or two, and having you officially as my right-hand man instead of my secret right-hand man is going to really, I think, help move the commission forward, because you're just such a good mentor, and you have the compassion and the spirit and the drive to take over when I step down.
Oh, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm teasing you. No, so welcome to the welcome. Oh, let me get Ellen back in. Welcome to the position.
Well, thank you. I will try to hold you to my original request that we have a meeting of the officers to work out some of the technical questions.
Oh gosh, yes.
that I've had, and I'd rather do that before the next meeting.
I agree. I'm slowly letting go of one of my jobs, so I'll only have one and a half time job instead of a 1.5 time, and I won't be working 2 jobs full time. So I'm trying to open up space to do things for the community and myself. All right. Well, congrats on that, Jim. And then new business, voting on that bylaws amendment. Do you feel like we need to share it again, or is it ready to be voted on?
Okay, Bert has something.
It's ready to be voted on unless people, I think we put the motion that we approve it, and then if people have concerns, that's when they bring them up.
Yeah, you're right. Right. Okay, so someone have a motion?
Oh, go ahead, Guy. I think he just moved that we approve.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Second.
okay. Motion by Guy, okay. Second by Bird. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
It's roll call.
We should roll call, but we see each other, so we can roll
Yeah,
call.
it's 5. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Good.
Okay,
I was afraid to try to figure out what 2/3 of 5 is. That's challenging my math skills. 4. Okay, thank you.
I ask then that someone print a new copy of the bylaws with the amendments in it and the date, and see that everyone gets that, so that we all have a current copy of the bylaws.
So you'd rather it be printed instead of sent by email?
Well,
as a document?
write it out. People can print their own out. Yes, that's all right. But we need to have it done so that everyone has the current copy of the bylaws.
Okay.
I'll volunteer to do that if you'd like.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, well, there's not many of us here, and but let's do this. We're reviewing and discussing the planning guide. So Jim, I'm going to try to find it. We had a planning guide going for those of you who haven't been on the commission since before COVID, kind of. And in that planning guide, we kind of set out monthly, like this is Women's History Month, Black History Month. Hold on a minute. I'm going to tell my pup something. She's talking. She'll talk to me sometimes. So sorry about that. So anyway, we had this great guide, and it allowed us to kind of prepare a couple months in advance for what was coming down the pipeline. Kindness was in November, I think. And so it's kind of fallen by the wayside. And when Jim and I met, we were like, we should really pull this up and look at it and sort of try and get back on track, especially as we come out of COVID and back into the light, so to speak, and start having community events and activities. Jim, did you think that we should form an ad hoc committee just a short-term ad hoc committee to review that planning guide and present a finished product to the commission? What was your opinion on this?
Well, I think we probably should initially. It was meant to be an annual document so that we were on top of the current events like Black History Month, Women's History Month, that have just passed, and we didn't acknowledge them at all. Yeah, I think maybe a two-person committee could probably refresh what we have for the remainder of this year. That's the calendar year. And then we've got to make sure that come the end of the calendar year, we're ready to address any adjustments that need to be made for the following year. I think that's where somehow it slipped. We had a document once and then didn't get refreshed, and then it got forgotten.
Yeah, I think a lot of things are coming back into the light. In forming an ad hoc committee, there should be a motion for that, correct?
No, you can just.
I can just appoint it. Okay, I'd like to.
And then it's approved. Then you appoint it, and then the commission will approve it.
Okay, I'd like to appoint an ad hoc planning guide committee with an ending date of it is March, April, June 1st, or May 31st. It should be even sooner than that, though. Really, April 30th. Would that work for you, Jim?
Oh, I don't think we should stretch it out. Yeah,
I think April 30th, a very short one. Okay. So I guess then I would ask for you guys to approve it. And it's an ad hoc committee. That's not a motion. It's an appointment. I say, let's have an ad hoc committee. Any discussion? All right. Is everybody in favor of an ad hoc planning committee ending April 30th, 2022? All right. Looks unanimous. Jim, can I put you on that committee and have you chair that?
Okay.
All right. Sorry, but I just think you'd be the best at it. I will be involved with that too, but I think as a chair, I can't actually put myself on the committee. So can I get one other person to join in that planning process who may not know all the things we've done before? Or I can leave it empty until go ahead. Dad, so you'll do it. And it'll mostly be, I think Jim and I remember doing this one a couple of years back with Jim, so it'll be pretty easy to flesh out. I'll work with.
Yeah, it won't be a lot of work.
No, just take 2 or 3 hours, we'll be good to go, or not even that probably. All right, seeing that, then future agenda items, I guess we're done with that, and you will not believe this, but I'm going to move to adjourn at 5:44 p.m.
Wow.
Unheard of. You don't have a bunch of people in a room, you don't have a lot to discuss, I guess. Guy?
You mentioned something about face-to-face meetings again?
Yeah, so now that the meeting is adjourned, we can talk, or can we not talk about it because we have a quorum?
Well, I was just concerned that we were adjourning before I had a couple of other things as well.
Oh, then unadjourn. What? I moved to reopen this meeting. What did you need, Jim?
Well, no, Guy was speaking first.
No, I just wanted to know what you had in mind as far as you made a comment at the start about a face-to-face, meeting back in person again, I guess, is what you were talking about.
Well, it's on my list to discuss with the both the planning commission to see if they're going back to in person now, and if we'd be able to meet where we used to meet, or finding some options, having the county suggest some options to us of places that we can use.
Okay.
And meeting back in person. And and also having, I suppose, the virtual ability if we're not willing, if somebody does not feel comfortable. And certainly if anybody wants to be masked, it's kind of bad.
Do you know somebody to contact at the planning commission?
I'm just going to call the planning commission and say, who do I talk to about it? Do you know somebody?
No, I don't.
No, I'm just going to shuffle through and find somebody who will work with me on it. And I'll reach out to the supervisors too. They may know of a spot. But I think that I think it would be nice. I don't think some of us, I don't think I've ever met Tatsu in person, for example. I think it would be nice to move towards that goal. I do know that as of March 14th, most schools will be unmasked. So we're really moving in that direction of unmasking now. So, and getting back to meeting in person. So kind of that's what I was looking at, guys. I'm going to start looking, and it could be that we offer the option, or we move back to in-person meeting as soon as next month. And we will see how everyone feels about it. I'll just throw the email out there, and we'll have an option for somebody to Zoom in, and we'll have like I've done with other meetings that I go to, that are hybrid. We'll have, if we're not meeting where we have anything bigger, we'll have even a laptop for someone to be able to Zoom in. Yeah. And I've been doing that with Humane Society and a few other things already. What did you have, Jim, for me?
I've asked you this question before, and I'm going to get an answer tonight. What is the proper way to communicate to you?
The proper way to communicate to me, and I thought I emailed you back, is the hhr@co.humboldt. That one, or marylyonstinsley@gmail.
Which one do you prefer?
I don't care, either one.
Okay.
Or both.
You sent me an email from that address, but you didn't say that was the exclusive email address.
When I emailed you back, and I said that I contacted Jarvis, and I did this and I did that. Point number 4. What?
I haven't seen that message. Well, don't look for it now.
Stay on after, and let me look for you. Okay.
Okay.
Stay on after. Okay. Yeah, because our goal is to phase out all of that Google suite that we're paying for. We don't have unlimited funds. There's no reason for us to be paying for a Google suite when the county offers us. And we were doing perfectly fine before that using our emails. I think all of us were, right? So I think that it's gotten a little convoluted. Like there's not the secretary at Hush Clover. There's not the secretary at Humboldt, at the Human Rights Commission. There's not the chair at the Human Rights Commission. Those are defunct. There's not treasurer at Human Rights Commission. Those are all defunct already.
Yeah, we have, the county provides us with the HHR account.
Exactly.
So, yeah, makes sense that we use it.
So we're trying to phase that out so that we're not paying that money that we were paying every month, those hundreds of dollars a year. It added up to quite a bit of money, and we don't have a budget. We're an unbudgeted commission. So yeah, so the HHR, or if you're just trying to get hold of Mary Lyons Tinsley at Gmail, that I've always used.
Okay.
Yeah, because chair at Human Rights Commission is defunct. It hasn't been active for a long time. All right. Ms. Berg, huh?
Well, I've been thinking about this. When Jim, you read out the things that Tina had on her list, and one of them was something she's paying monthly. And I'm wondering if that is something that Guy could put into the request for the McLean grant.
The coverage for the phone hotline, $26 a month.
It's $26 a month, $312 a year.
Can you do you have that in there, Guy, or can you put that in?
Or would that come out of the human trafficking grant?
I can put that in if, Jim, if you give me that amount,
It's now part of what the commission is responsible for. And that's why I'm thinking that
Got
it
it.
should come out of us or Humboldt County, not something that the grant pays for every year, because then somebody has to request that in the grant every year.
Got it. That's very logical. That makes sense.
And they may reject it at McLean, and then we'll have to look at something else. But it seems to me that might be a good one to put in.
So what's the amount again? It's going to be
It's
how much?
26 per month, 312 per year. And we'd like to do it in increments of a year so that we're not looking at this all the time.
Yeah.
This is a phone line for the trafficking, right?
Yes,
I'd love to have her come speak with us. It's been a long time. I remember meeting her several years ago. Could we invite her as a guest speaker?
we could. You might want to wait until we have our next meeting.
Yeah.
Our
I'm
next
just suggesting.
committee meeting.
Yeah, I'm just suggesting it to you as a future
Yeah.
idea.
I think she'd be happy to.
Yeah, I'd like that because that'd be great. Maybe in March, April, May, like May or something. All right. Any other little loose ends? Seeing none, I'm going to re-adjourn at 5:52 p.m.
And don't forget daylight savings time.
Yay!
When is that?
2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, less than two.
Recording stopped.
All right. So, yeah, Jim, I'll go in and show you the emails. I don't know how you didn't get the email back because I responded to your email.
Okay, good night, everybody that's going.
Good
Leaving.
night.
Good night.
Night, you guys.